Hello, everyone. This is my immigrant diary. Do you know that the EB5 Investor Green Card Program offers a pathway to US permanent residency for those who invest $500,000 to $1 million in a US business, creating at least 10 jobs for residents within 2 years. A significant investment for a long-term opportunity. Wally, what do you think about that?
Well, I was never that rich.
Well, it's fact. But there's something interesting I would like to show you. Check this
Yeah.
out.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
One of the things that at least I understand about Trump is that he's a business person. One of the things goals that he's aiming for is that he wants to make the US wealthier. At least from my understanding, how do you make a country wealthier is when people are actually wealthier, when they can earn more. So how do they earn more? When they have opportunities for more jobs, right? So it makes sense for him to have a vision of a gold card that will attract wealthy investors. Right now, we already do have the EB5
Investor Green Card.
Yeah, and that creates a pathway also to citizenship. So I'm interested to see how the gold card is going to be different from this and how they want to execute that to be able to attract more investors to come to the United States. So generally speaking, I think it's a win-win for everyone, for every American. Also, any kind of resident that is in the United States, you have an opportunity for more jobs, like you said. He's also looking for a way to have them employ those who graduate. Right now, we do have a situation where people will graduate because H-1B visa is basically a lottery right now. Like, you don't know if you're going to get it if you graduate from the United States. And if you remember in one of our past videos, we talk about how he wants to ensure that those who graduate from the United States, they get a green card. So I think they are coming up with something. They are trying to put together a plan, not just if you graduate then there's no job or you're competing with Americans, because one of the reasons why there's a limit on the H-1B visa is that they don't want Americans to now start losing opportunities just because you have a lot of students that are graduating from here. So if you have more people coming here to invest, then that means there will be a lot more jobs, more than enough jobs for everybody, and they'll be able to hire those who are students here. Although the execution remains to be seen, but I think there's a lot of possibility in what you talked about.
Well, Wally, I have a very different view from what you said because I'm just laughing and smiling like, okay, like green card. I mean, if you look at the EB5 Investor Green Card, the data showed that there were about 8,000 applicants last year, 2024. I mean, it sounds attractive, but I'm thinking to myself, an investor has $5 million. But I mean, the guy is already made where it's coming from. I'm wondering, why would I want to invest in the US because of a green card? And not to mention, with the green card, you can become a US citizen. And the US is maybe the only country in the world that tax you even if you are living outside the US as a US citizen. So the green card is a pathway to become a US citizen. So my question is for the elites that are going to be probably investing $5 million in the US, whether they will pursue to become US citizen is yet to be seen because of that tax law. So if this gold card is to be attractive, the Trump administration have to figure what they want to do about the tax laws. Because you can even imagine in the presentation, he kept saying they will pay taxes. And I'm like, whoa, what's the taxes? Like, I'm saying, I want to hear your thought. Like,
well, I think the companies definitely are going to pay taxes because, when the company makes money, they're going to pay tax. But again, if it's a new company, they probably are not going to make money very quickly. So they might be slow to even pay their taxes. Maybe they are not even paying tax in the first 5 years or something like that. But the employees definitely are going to be paying taxes. So that's one way I would say that you can look at it. Now, as a green card business person, unless you're living here, I don't think, I might be wrong. If I remember correctly, you are not required to pay tax if you are not living here. So if you're a resident outside, that's another thing that's also tricky about the whole thing. With green cards, generally speaking, they expect you to be living in the United States. So this, I need to do a little bit of research on to be able to verify whether it will apply to the gold card visas, even for the EB2 visa, because as a business person, you're investing in the US, you also would likely have other businesses outside the country. So do you want to have your permanent residence in the US? For example, from where you're coming from, you're paying much lower tax compared to the United States. You would rather have your residence outside the US. I understand that, but all of this still needs to be worked out. I totally agree with you. It's going to be challenging tax-wise, but if the benefits far outweigh the cost, for example, let's say you were making 1 million per year wherever you were coming from, and then you get to the US, you have an opportunity to actually make about 3 or 4 million per year. I think the tax doesn't really matter in that case. But again, it has to be a business that will be successful. And new businesses, most new businesses are not successful. So, but maybe if you have an experience with being successful business, that might give you an edge. But there's also a very big risk that that business is going to fail. So I think those are the things that you have to be weighing. But essentially, if you pay for the $5 million and you eventually get citizenship, my guess is that there will probably be opportunities for you to be able to also recoup your investment back. But again, this is business that a lot of people that are into business will understand how those things work and how they'll be able to make their money back.
Well, we're yet to see the execution because Trump's statement is that they will be selling the card. So, because we need to understand what that means. So in the implementation, are you saying people will bring $5 million to buy the green card, like business? So the question is, we need to understand the execution because Trump said that they will be selling. Does it mean take $5 million, give me US green card? Or I'm investing $5 million. Remember, EB5 investor green card, you invest $500,000 to $1 million in the US to obtain the green card. You got to show that you invested that money and you're creating job in the next 2 years to get that green card.
Yeah.
But Trump now said gold card, it will be sold. So we're going to leave that open because we're yet to the execution of that gold card, because sold means it's a transactional relationship. Take $5 million, give me. Yeah. So I'm like, who in their right mind, millionaires across the world that have $5 million that will just offer just to buy the US green card? If you are a millionaire already, that you have that kind of money, I'm sure you're already flying to the US back and forth already if you have any business being the US anyway. So I'm wondering, why would you pay $5 million? Oh, or probably, this is what we're not thinking, maybe he's actually selling the green card. Like, take $5 million, have a green card, and that's it. You don't have to invest it. But that's what he's saying. Maybe that's what he's saying, because we don't understand the implementation. But if I think about it from the point of sales, Wale, if Trump is saying you give US $5 million, you get a green card, he's saying they will create jobs. So is he saying it like an EB5, you invest $5 million, or is he saying sell? But we need to find, maybe there's a documentation to that idea that we can.
I think he's not really talking about the details here, but I totally agree that if it's just selling, I don't think it makes business sense just to buy the green card. And you have to think about the opportunity cost. So if I pay $5 million for a green card, it's not citizenship now, it's just green card. What other thing can I spend the money on that would make me be able to get that a lot, even if that's an attraction? So there are definitely other competitors in the world out there that actually they offer citizenship for payment. So
for investments and
payments, kind of things that you want to compete against, right? Although US is the biggest economy in the world, but there are countries, for example, like Malta, that offer, I think it's like 1 million or so for their own citizenship. And if you have access to Malta, you have access to multiple countries. So, and I think that's the other benefit US has, that as a United States citizen, if you do pursue that, you have access to other countries. But how many countries do citizens of a country like Malta have access to compared to like US? So those are the things that you want to be looking at, especially if you want to do business, right? The long-term implication of, you know, paying for this thing, how is it going to affect your bottom line? But generally speaking, I do hope that an idea like this could work, because it would definitely mean wealth for US residents and citizens. That's something I will be looking forward to.
Anyway, for me, the viewers who are watching, please like and subscribe, but please drop in the comment section if you have any thoughts on what we talked about and what Trump said about the gold card. My opinion is, if he's selling it, who's going to buy it? Millionaires out there, if you're a billionaire, you think you're going to buy, please drop your comments in the comment section. But I don't know how many millionaires are already out there when US already have over 20% of the millionaires in the world. So I'm
We
wondering,
want more.
Millionaires already, I don't know, man. It's just wild. But hey, thanks for supporting our channel. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, everybody.
Share, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
All right, bye for now.